Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny and I am so not an expert. Thank you so much for joining me today. It has been a minute since I've been able to get in front of this camera and record a video for you, and I am so sorry for such the long delay. With the holidays and my kids being home from college, it's been really difficult to sit down and record a video. But I am so excited to be back in front of the camera, and I'm even more excited to pick up where we've left off with our PMQ Piazza from Puzzle Mystery from Cotton Cuts. This colorway has been one of my absolute favorites thus far. The blacks, the oranges, the pinks, the golds, the bright colors have really been speaking to me, and I've absolutely loved the pieces that we've put together so far. So I cannot wait to see what's in here for this month's clue. It's been almost 2 months since we've been on this puzzle mystery cold, and I'm sorry for that. So I'm really excited to see what's inside here. So let's go ahead and cut this envelope open and see what's in store for us this month. Okay, let's grab our scissors and cut this thing open and see what we've come up with. Ooh, looks like we've got a new gift this month that looks really exciting. Let's pull it open and find out. Oh gosh, look at this rose pink pen. Is that not beautiful? Oh, it's got a little stylus on the bottom too. That'll help. Nice, pretty. This is a pen, not a pencil. So that's really nice. It's so pretty. So pretty. I'll add that to my collection. And then of course we have our beautiful fabrics. Let's see. Whenever I get my fabrics out, I always like to lay them out together so that they're all the same. All the same fabrics are together, so these are all the same fabric. I like the big pieces on the bottom and the small ones on the top if I can. Wow, look at all of these. They're all the same too. Lots and lots of triangles. You guys know Cotton Cuts is famous for all their triangles, which can make things a little difficult sometimes, but they usually turn out to be absolutely beautiful projects. Let me just lay these all out here. Look at all those triangles. And we've got some squares here. And then we also have our Cotton Cuts block of the month for December. This was our December clue, so that is why we have the block of the month for December. And it looks like it's going to be making this beautiful design here. Now I know that the Cotton Cuts, the contest for this block has already ended, but that is what the block will look like when it's completed. We're going to be doing something with those this year. I think we're probably going to make a sampler quilt with all those later this year. But these are our pieces for clue number 6. It looks like we're going to be making 4 pieces of one single section with some triangle, maybe some diamond shaped pieces in there. So can't wait to see what that's going to look like. Let me go ahead and set up the machine, and then we can get started putting this clue together. Looks like we don't have a whole lot of thread left on our bobbin, so we might end up playing a little bit of a bobbin race. We'll have to wait and see. That's okay. I always have an extra one handy. All right, our machine is all set up and ready to go. We've got our pieces already laid out and ready to start. So let's just get right in. Let's jump right in. Step 1, it says we're going to be making some flying geese with our fabrics A and our fabric C's, which is basically all the fabric we have here. We do have a couple of pieces of this C fabric here, but not much of it. I'm sorry, B fabric here. This is the B fabric. This is the C fabric. So we're going to be making some flying geese. We're going to be using this as our center triangle, and then this is going to be our smaller triangles here. And we are going to be making 12 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and chain piece them up. I'm going to do one side and then iron them all up and then do the other side. You guys have seen me make thousands and thousands of these before, but we're going to go ahead and show you how to do them real quick. First, we want to start with one of our bigger triangles. Cotton Cuts cuts off all the corners, which makes it really easy for us to match up our pieces. There's no, that way there are no dog ears when we're matching them up. So we're going to take this piece here and one of these, two of these actually. I'll make one for you guys and then we'll go ahead and get them all chain pieced up together. So long edge for the triangle. It's going to match up with the side edge of the larger triangle. And again, those corners are cut off nice and accurate for us. Just going to line that bottom edge up there and that triangle piece. And we're going to run it through the machine. Sometimes my machine likes to eat up my little corner pieces here. When that happens, I do have what I call leaders, which are just small scraps of fabric, usually, 1 inch or 2 inch pieces that you feed under the machine first, and then you put your triangle pieces underneath. It kind of helps the machine, it kind of gives it its movement first before. The other trick that I've learned is you start with your needle down. Sometimes that helps as well. So that's what I'm going to do first, is I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down, and I'm going to start there. Now I can see right off the bat as I'm looking at this, and I'll try and get a close-up for you guys, but right off the bat I can see that my needle is going to eat up this corner, because when I put it down, it has tipped that piece of fabric. So as long as you pay really close attention to what your needle is doing, you'll be able to kind of judge if you need to use a leader, if you need to use other things. What I'm going to do instead is I'm actually just going to put my needle back up, pull my piece out, make sure the thread is pulled through, and I'm just going to put the tip of that corner just a little bit further up, just, 1/8 of an inch or so. So when that needle comes back down, it actually pulls into the fabric and it doesn't bend it. Again, I'll try and give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek of what it's looking like in there. But let's go ahead and let's get started. So we need to make 12 of these. I'm going to go ahead and make all 12, and I'll bring you guys right back so we can see how to make the other side. All right, we have all 12 of our pieces sewn up together, and you can see they're just in one big long chain. That's why it's called chain piecing. So I'm going to go ahead and separate these. You can do this one of many ways. I just used the little cutter on the side of my machine. You also have those cutting flowers that you can use, or you can just use your snips or scissors to separate them. But I'm going to go ahead and just pop these over here real quick, separate them all up. And then with all of my Cotton Cuts projects, to press after each step. And the reason I do that is because all of these pieces are pre-cut. So the pieces are going to fit together perfectly as long as you sew them up with your exact 1/4 inch seam. Now I have found that when I press the pieces first after each step, that makes my pieces lay just a little bit flatter, so all those seams line up just the way they're supposed to. So that's my preference. You do whatever you're more comfortable with. If you want to just finger press them and keep moving on, that's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and press these up based on the instructions on the Cotton Cuts has provided us with, and then I'll bring you back and I'll show you what we're going to see again in just a minute. All right, all of our pieces have been pressed up together and are laying nice and flat. So now we're just going to attach another piece to the other side. And it's going to be the exact same way we did it before. We're going to go ahead and chain piece them up one right after the other. We're going to take this small triangle and we're going to match it up to the edges of the larger triangle. So I'm going to do this corner here, this edge here, and this edge here. I'm not going to worry about this edge here so much. I can trim that if I need to, but because of the way Cotton Cuts has cut these pieces, they should line up pretty close to accurate. Sometimes they're a little off. It just depends on how I've managed to sew them, but it's usually not a cutting thing. So just go ahead and match up that corner as best you can. Those two sides are the ones that are the most important. And then this side's going to line up just a teeny tiny off, but that's all right. I'm going to go ahead and feed this into the machine with the thinner part there as best I can. So I'm going to flip that over like that. That just makes it feed into the machine a little bit better. There we go. And then I'm just going to do these one right after the other and get all 12 of them done. Then we're going to press them up one more time. Step 1 will be complete. I'll see you guys again in just a few minutes.
Let's
you are new to cotton cuts and you're following their instructions, do not panic when you see their flying geese. In the pictures, when they show their flying geese patterns, they show that the triangle meets all the way up at the top there. You see that there? But the reality is that there's actually still that 1/4 inch salvage, and that's because that 1/4 inch seam, I'm sorry. So when you attach this flying geese to the next project, you will have a 1/4 inch seam here, so that will meet up right there with the top of your triangle. So don't panic if your pieces don't look exactly the same as the pictures on the directions for cotton cuts. That's because they did not include their 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to go ahead and press up the rest of these pieces, and then we will be finished with step 1 and moving on to step 2. Okay, friends, we have finished all of our flying geese, and they are absolutely gorgeous. I love these fabrics. They're so pretty. See? And now we have finally finished step 1, and we can move on to step 2. Now, step 2 says we're going to join a small triangle C to the left and right of a step 1 unit, but we're only going to make 4. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 4 of these out so we don't confuse ourselves. We're going to put the rest of them up here away from us so we don't accidentally grab something. And then I'm going to need 8 small triangle C's, which are the ones that we were using before. And I'm going to need 8 of those. So let me just count these up. Now, normally I don't count them up, but I want to make sure that I only grab enough for what I need and I don't grab more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 8 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like that's all we're going to need is the rest of them that are left. So that's good. So we're going to go ahead and attach these up. And it looks like we're going to be making the bottom of a larger triangle. So they're both going to be the same. They're going to be opposite directions. We're going to start with a short edge of the triangle. We're going to put that up against the side here on one side. And we're going to take the other one, the opposite short edge. I'm going to go up against that one. Let me go ahead and put one of these together so you can see what I'm talking about here. So let's take one of these. All right. It says to press both of these towards the outside. So let's do that real quick. Same thing on this side. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. All right, super quick and easy. This is what it's going to look like. You can see it looks like the bottom of a triangle. There's no point at. I'm going to go ahead and make the other 3 of these, and then we can move on to step number 3. Okay, that, my friends, is step number 2. Now we're going to be large triangle, medium triangle C to the top of these units to make a large triangle piece. These are the medium ones that are left here. So we're going to be attaching those to the top. So let's take this one out. And I'll take that here. Now with these pieces, you can try to match the edges up, and for the most part, it's going to work. Now, the problem is that your 1/4 inch seam is not, unless you are amazing at it, your 1/4 inch seam is not always going to be perfect. The best way that I have found to make sure that these pieces lay as flat as I can is I actually like to mark the middle of these triangles. So I like to fold the 2 edges together so the pieces match, and then I just take my thumb and I just make a little dent or an indent or a fold or whatever, a mark right here in the center so that when I open it back up, I have just a little bit of a dent right there. And I like to match a dent up with the tip of the triangle piece here. Now you can do this one of a couple of ways. You can also use a pin, which I have shown you guys before that I do. I take a pin and I put it through that dent there in the center, the bottom, and then I match that up with the center of the triangle piece there. Lines everything up as well. And I can do it this way also. Any way you guys have found that works best for you, is the best way to do it. Just try to make sure that that triangle piece is center to the larger piece. Again, Cotton Cuts has cut all of our pieces really, really well. So if we've done our 1/4 inch seam the way we're supposed to, the pieces should actually line up edge to edge almost perfectly. But if you really want to be just that little bit extra careful, go ahead and mark that center and make sure that it's matching up with everything that you wanted to mark up. I'm going to go ahead and sew these triangle pieces onto the tops, and then we're going to be pressing those towards the outside again, and we're going to be making ourselves a really pretty triangle. I'll see you guys again in just a minute. All right, let me show you what we've got so far. This is our pretty triangle piece that we have so far. The next thing the directions tell us to do is we're going to join a large triangle A to the left of the step unit to step 3 unit, press and join a large, and press, then join triangle A to the right. So we're going to attach large triangle and left of this, and we're going to be making 4 of those as well. So let me grab these. We're going to need 8 of these, so I'm just going to lay these here. These 4. So we're going to take one of these big ones here and attach it to the side. Again, Cotton Cuts has cut off those edges for us. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Has cut off those edges for us, so the pieces should line up pretty well. It looks like maybe there's going to be a little bit of an overlap on some of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up, I'm going to match up one corner. I'm going to go ahead and match up this corner here with my pieces. We're going to go ahead and match up this side edge here with our pieces. Looks like they're going to be off just a hair. We're going to get these sewn up together. Again, I'm just going to chain piece these up together, doing both sides, and then press them based on the instructions. Okay, friends, step 4 is now complete. Let me show you what we've got so far. Ta-da! I love these colors. Oh, so much fun. Okay, we're going to set these aside for right now, and we are going to come back to them in a little bit. The next step says we're going to be making we're going to be joining our medium triangle A's to the top and bottom of the square B, and then we're going to be joining them to the right and left as well. So we're going to be taking this square and turning it into a diamond with all the pieces. So first things first, let's go ahead and join top and bottom. We're going to be making 4 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and chain piece these together, but first let me show you. So we're going to turn the top and one to the bottom. We're going to press those out, and then we're going to do the sides and do the same thing. Really, or lay nice and flat when we do this. So let's go ahead and put this together first. Bit of a challenge to get things to lay nice. So I'm just going to show you my trick again. So go ahead and I fold this triangle, and I make the mark there and a mark there, so that this rectangle. So I have a nice mark, and then I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to fold it and make a nice mark. This mark that's on here and this mark that's on here will nest up nicely, and I know what it is, and sew that down. Okay, press these towards the out. Now this is the one time that you're going to want to press. If you haven't been pressing after each step before, with this specific step you are definitely going to want to, because you need to make sure that those edges lay nice and flat before we add our next corners. So go ahead and pull that iron out and lay these nice and flat. Nice and flat. There we go. And then I'm going to fold in half again. Line up those edges and give myself my little marks on either side. And then take 2 more triangles. And then once again, we press these outwards And now remember, just like I showed you guys before with the flying geese, the pictures in the cotton cuts instructions do not include your seam allowances. So the edges of the square look like they go all the way to the edges of the triangles in the pictures, but in real life, you've got a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. Let me show you. See the 1/4 inch seam all the way around in the corner, the pieces here? That, my friends, is what this piece looks like. I'm going to go ahead and make the other 3 up, and then I will get them pressed up just the way we need them, and then we are on to step 6. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, friends, here is what we have for step 5. All right, step 6 says we're going to be taking these 4 step 5. We're going to be adding some of our flying geese to either side. It looks like we're going to be doing some... We're going to be adding it to the left and right of both sides. Okay, let me show you what we've got so far. And the very last step is we're going to be adding the pieces that we made before and set aside in step 4 to the top of these pieces. So we're just going to be setting these up here. It looks like we're going to have some seams that meet up, but they are not going to nest. So we just have to be careful with those. Let me go ahead and... Yep. Sew these up real quick. Okay, friends. We have reached the end of clue 6. Let me show you what we got. Ta-da! I know I've mentioned it before, but I absolutely love this colorway. This might be one of my favorites. Okay, guys. Well, that is it for clue 6. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited that we are getting back into the swing of our Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I'm really excited to see what this ends up being in the next couple of months. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel so that you can follow along with us as we finish up this project, as well as start some new ones. As a reminder, we also have our live streams on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Central Time, where we work on a lot of really fun projects, and I love seeing you guys there. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you guys again next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.